They're meowing like crazy. Oh my gosh. Do you hear this?
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
These are some lobster tails that I had purchased for Ditto when Ditto was here. He loved fresh seafood. I made him scallops and shrimp all the time. Those were some of the only foods he could eat during the last few months of his life. And one of the foods he really enjoyed were lobster tails, but they're really expensive. They were on sale around Valentine's Day. They were half price, and that's when I first gave him some to see if he liked them, and he really enjoyed them. So I bought more when they were on sale, and then I got these when they were not on sale. This was $40 for 4 lobster tails. So each lobster tail is like $10. And I've had these in the freezer downstairs, and I thought I would take them out and defrost them because we are going to be celebrating Boo and Stella's birthday. Boo and Stella are turning 7 years old this month. I don't know exactly when they were born, but it's just an estimate based on how old they were when Stella showed up with the kittens. So she showed up with the kittens in May of 2016. Splash and Simba were born sometime around the end of April or early May of 2016. And at the time, Stella was probably a year old, maybe not even a year old. So that's why I just estimate her birthday maybe around June. And Boo and her were always together, and they seemed to be the same age. I used to think they were like brother and sister when I saw them like in January and February before I even started taking videos of the cats. I would always see Stella and Boo together. I never saw one without the other, and I honestly thought they were brother and sister, so that's why I just estimate them to be the same age. So we're celebrating Boo's birthday and Stella's birthday. Splash and Simba turned 6 the end of April, early May, so that means Boo and Stella are turning 7 in the middle of June, just around the middle of June. I don't really have a set day that I celebrate for them. We just kind of celebrate over several days. So I thought we would celebrate today with some lobster tails, and I'm going to cook these for the cats, and I'm going to cook these in my Hot Logic. And that's how I used to cook seafood for Ditto. If I had time to prepare in advance, I'd put the seafood in the Hot Logic because it does a really nice job on fish. And if I didn't have time to prepare in advance, like if I needed him to get fed pretty quickly, then I would break out a steamer and then I would steam the seafood and it would be done in like 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is open these up and put them in my Hot Logic. So this is all I have to do with them. I just put them in the Pyrex and then I put the lids on. And this is my Hot Logic. This is like a casserole size Hot Logic. And what it is, it's basically like a cooler that has a hot plate in it. And this hot plate cooks at 165 degrees. So it doesn't cook hot enough to dry out the food or burn it or anything. And what I really like about this is that it's really flexible and convenient. So if I put the lobster tails in here now, they'll probably be done in about 2 hours. But if I can't get to them in 2 hours, and if I get to them in 3 hours, they're still fine. So there's 1 and 2 of these containers fit perfectly on here. If I had a larger, I think it's like 9 by 12 pan, that's what really fits in here, but 2 of the smaller ones fit well also. For Ditto, I would just make 1 of these because he was the only one eating. So like 2 lobster tails would last several days for him. Because he would not get them as like his only meal. He would get them as like part of a meal. And that's what the cats are going to get today. They're just going to get maybe half a lobster tail each as part of a meal. But I figured let me just make them all together. And so, yeah. So all I need to do now is put the top on and zip it up. And after I zip these up, that's it. I just put it aside. It's plugged in and come back to this in a little while. And the lobster tails should be nicely cooked. This is what the lobster tails look like after 3 hours in the Hot Logic. I'm going to say that they're done. They've turned a nice red color. So I'm going to take them out and I'm going to cut these in half and get the meat out and make sure they're done before feeding them to the cats. So here's what the lobster meat looks like. Here's the lobster tail. I usually just cut it down the center, and then I have the two halves and just take the meat out of each side. And then there's the lobster meat. Some of it had like the poop chute attached to it, so I rinsed off some of it to clean it a bit, but I did taste it and it is delicious. One thing I have to say that I learned when Ditto was here is that homemade lobster tastes so much better than any lobster you can get in a restaurant. I used to love eating lobster in restaurants, and there's been some times when I've had really bad lobster in a restaurant. I mean, to the point where it tasted like sewage, but I've never had lobster as good as the lobster tails that I've made over the past few months, especially when Ditto was here. The lobster tails are absolutely delicious, and this one is no exception. This one is delicious. I only had a small little piece of it, but it was really, really good. So now I'm gonna cut up the other one, take the meat out, and I think that should be more than enough for the cats today. Simba, you wanna smell the lobster tail? Want to smell it? You guys want to smell the lobster tail? I don't add anything to it before I cook it. You think you're gonna like it? Tasting it? You want to taste this side? I don't know if you should eat that, Simba. Okay. You could lick it. Lick it, don't eat it. Okay. Here's the lobster tail meat after I shredded it up for the cats. I ate a few pieces also, but I think this is plenty for them. It might even be a little bit too much, so I don't know how much I'm gonna give to them. They're gonna have some canned fish, and then they're gonna have a little bit of this on top. So this is what the cats are having for dinner. They're each having a quarter of a can of the Earthborn Holistic Harbor Harvest, and they're having a little bit of the shredded lobster on top. We'll see if the cats like it. They're meowing like crazy. Oh my gosh. Do you hear this? You guys want to eat some food? You hungry? You hungry, Simba? Ready to eat? You hungry, boo? Stella's rubbing up against my legs. Okay, here we go, guys. Everybody grab a plate. Happy birthday, Boo. Happy birthday, Stella. So Simba has dived into the food. Boo's eating the food. Happy birthday, Stella. Eat the food. I don't know if Splash is going to eat it because he's afraid of new things. Simba already ate all of his lobster. Nope, nope, you're not eating Boo's. Eat your food, Boo. Here's Stella. Stella's eating her food. The noise in the background is the washing machine. Is Stella eating her lobster? Maybe she's eating the lobster, we'll see. We know Simba likes it. And here he is stealing Splash's. It looks like he pretty much stole all of Splash's lobster already. Nope, we know Simba's the fish eater. I don't want to give them too much because I don't want him to get sick from eating too fast or too much. That's it, Simba. I'm going to save the rest for later, like crunchy time. They could have a little bit more, or I might put it in the refrigerator and maybe they'll have it with their breakfast. Here's Boo, he's eating his food. And here's Stella, and look, she's eating the lobster. Usually Stella's not a fan of fish, but it looks like she likes this. Happy birthday, Stella. You're 7 years old. Happy 7th birthday. Look at this. Look at this. Simba's just ready to pounce on Boo's food. Happy birthday, Boo. Happy birthday, Boo. I hope you like the lobster. You're 7 years old. It's a special treat for you. Boo's eating it. Well, I'm glad the cats like it because that's a lot of money to waste if they didn't like it. Simba, you got your regular food. You can eat that, you know, right? Right, Simba? So the lobster meat was a bit salty. Like when I tasted it, to me, it was definitely on the salty side. That's why I don't want to give them too much at once. Also because it's a brand new food for them. They've never had it. Oh, there's an ant. Simba just ate a crumb off the floor. It was a lobster crumb. Simba just steals what he wants. So Simba went back to his plate of food. Splash finished his food. Boo is now eating Stella's food. And there's Simba. Simba saw his opportunity to eat whatever piece of lobster was left on Boo's plate. So it looks like Simba had the most enjoyment out of this meal. So next year, maybe for Simba and Splash's birthday, they could have some lobster tail. This is not going to be a frequent occurrence for the cats. Maybe once or twice a year. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.